G'day guys, how's it going? Welcome to the Virago 250 budget bike build, episode 21. We are full steam ahead. You can see bloody Lucifer. Someone mentioned about, so you called the bike Lucifer with all that trouble that I was having. It was quite, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. All right, so let's have a look at what I'm doing at the moment. Rightio, so I got him all covered up at the minute because what I've done is I've cheated, and because I had to respray this, remember I had the problems with that, so I've done it while it's still attached to the bike, and you're not going to see much there, but basically I just sanded it all, not all of it back, just roughly sanded it back. I tell you what guys, I was very impressed with that paint. So you know how I was impressed with it already when I did the tyre, putting the tyres back on, and it didn't scratch very often, much. With that brake thing, I rubbed off all the paint because it just once that brake fluid gets on it, it just strips it straight off. It comes off. It's like actually, here's some of it there. It's just yeah, it's shit. But I got the steel brush onto it and the sandpaper. Where the paint didn't have the brake fluid, man, that stuff is strong. Really, I was very impressed with it. So this will just sit here for a few days before I manage to put that back on, because I'm learning my bloody lesson. Not touching bloody paint that is not fully dry. I know 7 days is fully dry, but a few days will be right to put that on. Now, the other thing I've done is I've done the paint underneath here. I'm going to see if I can get in underneath there for you to have a look. I was very surprised too underneath here. This was all actually in pretty good nick. So I just gave that a scuff up with the sandpaper and then just gave it a spray exactly how it is. So it was a bit difficult, but I've got a good few coats on there coverage. And this is something to think about. Wherever there's lots of grease or fling off of grease, like around the front sprocket and on the back tyre on this side where the chain is, you can see wherever there was grease or a build-up of muck, that was actually protected. Now this is most probably more prevalent in a sea area, you know, salt. But I would say that was the same for underneath, because there was a lot of gunk build up, you know, oil that's most probably leaked or bloody whatever, and it's actually protected the bike from the elements. So kind of go, do I just smear grease all over my bloody bike and she'll be apps? All right, let's go into the workshop and have a look over there. Rightio, so what I'm doing over here, I've got, oh, there's bloody hair on there. That reflector is now on there, so that was all painted up, so that's done on there. That's about it for that. I'm still waiting for this to do a bit more drying, and then that's all going to be sanded and also primer, like build up primer and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to do a good job on it. That's basically it. So what I'm doing at the minute is making the bracket that is going to hold this light section onto here. So to explain how I'm doing this, is a bit of just aluminium or aluminum. So I've got, these are the two holes here that are used to mount it, but those two holes don't meet up with any of those. I've already said that, I think, last week. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill two holes there, and then that will get attached to this. You can see I've also put a bender in this. I've marked out my holes here, so then this bracket will then get attached to there, which will then hold everything on. Now these are rubber mounted with hard doodads, so that will be nicely firm on there, and on the back of this has that rubber cushion there, which is what goes through, so everything's going to be nice and firm on there, and you know, not vibrating and all that kind of bullshit. I've already checked the two wires that lead out of these, perfectly fit going in through there, so that's all going to work out really well.
So I've got to get to doing some drilling, and then we'll do some nice rounded, most probably cuts on here, sand it all up, file it all up and whatever. That'll get ready for paint, and then she'll be right to get these connected. Rightio guys, so this is the idea. So I've put some marks here. This is where I'm going to cut this off and round that around. This will get bolted in, nutted in from behind. That's all sweet. And these two holes here, for those, I've got the screw or the nuts and bolts there. And I'm pretty sure that I won't have to do too much trimming of the back bit for it to not be bloody touching on that guard. So once I've got all this ready to go, that will get attached to this thing here. These bolts will be in there. I'll slot it in there and then nut it up there, and it's pretty much done. Rightio guys, so I've just put it all together just to make sure before I start doing any painting and stuff, but that is them attached, like that. You'll note over here, so all the wires have been ran through. Now you'll see how you can see this here and that one there. What I will do is I'll put some black heat shrink on there so that when these things slip down, you're not going to see it. It's just going to be black. So I'll hide that because that looks a little bloody hideous. But I think that'll do the trick. I had to reverse these nuts around, and these are sticking out a bit. I'm going to get rid of the washer because these are indented. I'll get rid of the big washer. I'll put maybe a smaller one on there. There's a plain washer and a spring washer. I don't think anyway, but that'll make them sit back. But I couldn't have this on this side because it was going to start hitting onto the guard. I didn't want that. So this has movement in it because it's got the rubber washer, but it's got the metal sleeve in between, so it locks it in there, but it has that movement. So I suppose that's good for the electronics, I do believe. So there we go.
So now all I've got to do is pull all that apart, and then tomorrow I will spray paint that bracket ready for it to go on. And these little bolts, those ones that are going in the tops, which will attach this to there. Now someone mentioned in the comments about filling the screw heads and then sanding over it so it makes it just a bulb and will look more like these. The problem with that, and that's a bloody brilliant idea, but I want these usable. I'm not too sure yet, because this will most probably spin while I'm trying to do the other. Yeah, so the reason why I want them usable is that when this goes to whoever gets it, they're going to have the original seat and the pillion seat, so they can put the original seat back on and the pillion seat in case they want to, you know, take someone for a ride. So that was part of the deal, was I wanted this to be interchangeable, because that seat's, it's a little seat, it's cool looking, but like I said way back, you know, if you're going to do some big trip and you don't want to be sitting on that tiny little, because I mean things look cool but they're not bloody comfortable. So I wanted that option there for someone to be able to change it over, and to be able to change it over easily, not having to bloody pull half the bike apart to, you know, get that job done. So that was the deal. Anyway, I'll come back to you tomorrow when I get all this stuff ready to start painting. Cool.
Rightio guys, so the only heat shrink that I've got is actually the same size as this black stuff, so this won't go over that. So what I've got to do is pull that plastic sleeve off, then I should be able to feed these wires through that heat shrink. Beautiful, look at that. So I want to get that on as far as I can. Now, I've got so I've got enough for that side, beauty. So I'll use all of this. And then once that shrinks down, this should then really kind of like stick over that as well. Alright, I'm going to use the heat gun. There we go, guys. So that should, yeah, that's not going to come off. Brilliant. So I'll just do the other side and then I'll come back to you. Right, yeah, guys, so I've got it done. So obviously this one here is going to seem to slip, but see if it slips, it's got that the black shrink wrap there, so that won't be a problem. Hopefully it doesn't bloody move, but there you go. Now I did have to actually cut some of this plastic tubing to be able to feed this stuff through. They had some little kink points. So I'll just tape that up so it'll still have its protected bloody rubber thing with a bit of tape around it. That'll all be under the guard, so you're not going to see that anyway. Alright, let's get this mounted on. Right, yeah, this can come off because this is all now fully cured, so I can pretty much bang it around and stuff and it's not going to put any marks in it. Get rid of any little bloody bits and pieces here. Right, yeah, I think the first thing I've got to do is take these blinkers off. So I know they work. Now this inside bit, I've got 2 holes there, 1 hole there, 2 there, 1 there. So I'm pretty sure this just slots in. So the wires actually run through on there. Right. Yep. So I put this in first, then I'll run all the wires and this stuff here. Bloody holes up here. Oh, there we go. I think that's about it. I can see the holes through there. Now I got those bolts, there I go. These have been painted. That's what's going to be seen from the outside. So I've got 2 for up on here. Can you see that, guys? Yeah. Screw that one in. Put that one in. And this one around here. Beautiful. Righto, now to get a screwdriver, and I'll most probably scratch these as I do them up, because these most probably haven't fully cured, these ones, but I can touch them up. Rightio guys, so now I'm going to tighten these up. I've actually done this now twice, and twice I have not hit record on the bloody camera. I can't believe it. I'm using a piece of rag, and I've already wearing a bloody hole in it now. And it's worked really well. And of course it worked well, so the camera wasn't going. So I'm just putting it so it's not metal on metal. Just do that to do it up, so to stop the paint coming off. Because these are most probably not fully cured, but I've just got to get them on and I can touch them up later. But it really worked a treat. So now, this is the 3rd time I've bloody done it. So I've just got that one there to do now. Same deal, put that over it. So that's a great little bloody little tip to do. Look at that, brilliant. You gotta bloody love it when it works. Rightio guys, I most probably didn't need to actually take these off, but better to be safe than sorry. Do them up firm, but I'm not gonna, once it's on the bike, then I can adjust which way it needs to go. Rightio, so they're back on. Now to do that rear light. Rightio guys, so now to do this, I've got to put the 2 bolts that are going to mount onto the frame through that way. Is that the way? Yeah, that's the way it's got to go. On there. these then come here. I have to put these bolts around backwards, which isn't going to be the prettiest. It's not going to be neither here nor there really, but because it's against the back of the fender, if I've got any stuff coming out here and nuts, it's going to hit on that fender, so that's why I'm doing it that way. I'm going to turn that over. Put some washers on that. I'll tighten all this up and then we'll get ready to whack this onto the back. Okay, so hopefully you can see that. So now I've got to feed that through there, that one through there. I don't know if you can see that, guys. So you can see there coming out. Chuck a washer on. Rightio, so just got to tighten that up and then we'll flip it over and have a look. Actually guys, I forgot, before I tighten it up, I've got to get these wires fed through this little hole here. Should be hopefully fairly easy. I haven't taped these wires up yet. Beautiful. Hang on guys, this bloody... Oh, I don't know if you can... I don't even know where you guys are. You're nowhere, anywhere. Righto, I'm just having a bit of trouble. I've got to get some duct tape and tape that over. Righty, I'll show you what I'm bloody doing. So yeah, can you see that guys? Yeah, so I've just made it so that now hopefully that will feed through. Let's just see. There we go, look at that, beautiful. Coming through like a champ. Alright, let's flip it back over. Righty. So I think that should be alright. So now I'll just worry about doing up these nuts. Rightio, let's see if we can get these done up. Pretty bloody simple by the look of that. Cool, alright, I'll finish off and come back to you. Rightio guys, do you want to see it? Oh, Jesus. I'll tell you what, when you put in that metal piece underneath, geez, it gets heavy. So there we go guys, so that is the all bloody done, ready to go on the bike. So obviously none of this wiring stuff here, I haven't done anything because I'll put it on there and then I'm going to see where all the other wires and how I'm going to meet them up and how I'm going to join them. I've got on order this new product that, who was it? Someone bloody, what are they? Solder sleeves. So it's, they're like your crimp bloody ones, but you put the two wires in and there's already solder in there. You just heat it up and it just solders it all together and just bloody brilliant. So I'm going to give them a go. And that's most probably what I'll use on this, depending on how long they take to get here. Now, before we put this on the bike, I'll just show you. Steve from Merbau sent up a box like that. Well, that is the box that he sent with all these little Duvalakis in there. Hang on, here we go. With a note saying, use our own creativity to make up a sign for whoever gets the wins the bike. Yeah, KLR Steve from Merbau. Brilliant. So this is what we came, or what I came up with. So yeah, it's just a bit of bloody wood joined together. Used liquid nails to stick them on there. Put a couple of bloody stickers on there, so that will be going with the bike. Now, clearly, whoever gets the bike, I mean, they might not want to call it Little Lucifer. It may be a girl's name, it might be a boy's name, who knows what. It might not even have a bloody name. But they'll get given that regardless and they can do whatever they want with it. Alright, let's get this rear bloody fender on. Shit, hang on. Steve, again, thank you very much for setting that stuff up. Yeah, I think that'll be a bloody great little accompaniment with the bike. Cool.
Have tools, will travel. Rightio, we've got the guard up there. We are nearly ready. Got the lucifer in the position. We'll get rid of the leaf. Let's get into it. Rightio guys, I've just worked something out. And that is why they have this big metal steel thing in here. It's very, very solid. Why they have that in there is because obviously on here is where the pillion sits. And if I point you down, yeah, so obviously this guard is only being mounted from here and here. So obviously if you've got a pillion bloody sitting up here, there's not much here. So that is what that does. Cool, and that's why some people, when they do their bobbers and bits and pieces, they take that out because they're never going to have a pillion sitting on that guard, so they don't need that on there. Cool. Bloody love it when I figure out shit like that. All right, let's get this guard on. Rightio guys, so just as a note, so obviously it's throughout the stages I left bolts where they belonged, so I'd never, you know, it would make it easy when putting stuff back together. These were fine to sit here when I was spraying, but the bolts for up here aren't there. But of course, I was very smart and did my little bloody bag with the label on it, and I know, hey presto, that's where they go. Brilliant. Rightio, let's see if we can get this on. So I'm going to go in, down. Right, I think that loops around there. Oh, look at that. That couldn't be any easier. So now, should be able to work that through there. Look at that, freestanding. Then I've got these two bolts to go in behind. Cool, so let's just take a minute to have a look at that. It's always hard. So what I'm going to do, I'll just get those bolts at the back there in properly, and I'll put some nuts on the back of that. Then I reckon what I'll do is I'll grab the tank and I'll put it on there, and we'll have a look at that. Bloody exciting! Rightio guys, so the tank is on there. It looks pretty bloody good, but I see an issue. And can you see it? That fender is way too bloody high. And when you look at the whole bike, that's got to come down to keep that styling. And yeah, it just, I don't know, looks like an off-road bloody bike, for Christ's sake. So I know what the problem is. It's these. I wanted to stick with these shocks that have that on it. I've got the other ones that I bought that off the Queensland mob, but they didn't have this nice chrome sleeve on them, and but they were shorter. So I'm going to have to take those off, which is a very simple job. Remove those, put the other ones on, which will lower that back down. So I reckon I might do that right now while I've got all this on here. We might even throw the seat on after that and have a look at that. Rightio guys, so gone and got these shocks back out. Luckily I didn't send them back or try and flog them off on eBay, which is hence why I keep everything until I've totally finished something, because you just never know. So they're the ones we're going to use, which is these ones. So as you can see, it doesn't have that chrome sleeve that goes around there, but these are shorter. So if we look, if I get that to the same level, you'll see there's quite a big bloody difference there. So that will bring that guard down. Now, I wanted a pro tip, and I can't remember who it was, man, so sorry, I've bloody forgotten, because a little while ago when I was putting these on, someone bloody quizzed me and I said, oh yeah, no, it's all good. But then he actually rang me up, and what it was to do with was the way that these were positioned. So are they
that way on the side, or are they that way? Now, yeah, that's funny actually. These don't have what he was talking about, and that's this thing here. So you can use this to adjust the suspension. The way that I had it on the bike was that this was facing the back on this side, so if you had your tool, you couldn't do it because you would have been pushing into the bike, you'd have no leverage, so you'd want it to go the other way, so that would distinguish which way this goes. So I can't see how this one bloody does it. Oh, so it's got a tool that goes on there, so I think this won't actually matter, or does it matter? So if I get the tool on, I'm gonna, to make that go around that way, so I've got to turn it that way. So it wouldn't matter. Yeah, okay, it doesn't matter. These are good. I don't have to worry about it. All right, let's bloody get them on. Rightio, guys. So they're on, and that certainly makes you can't just see straight through it. That's way better. Excellent. So I just don't have my little sleeve bits there. So what can you do? Rightio, guys. Nay's actually crooked bloody today. She was actually crooked yesterday as well. So I've got to go and do the orders and get the post bloody done. So I'll come back to you. We will put the seat on there just so that you can get a bit of a feel for it. And then I'll have to get started on doing that, doing the tank. Cool. Back in a minute. Rightio, guys. So I've got all that bloody shit done. It's obviously getting a bit dark time now. So I've put the seat on. So it's basically just sitting there. So, I mean, it's not, I haven't worked out exactly the position, but that's going to be pretty bloody close to it. All I've got sitting underneath there is 2 duct tape rolls just holding that up. So this got mounting from there, it has to be mounted down here, so I've got to work out a system there. And I've got to mount in there, so I'll do a bracket. I've been thinking about that, and I might even be able to do a bracket where I don't have a bolt through it, where it actually slips under like a normal motorcycle seat does. But I've just got to run that through my head to make sure I get that right, because that'll just make it a whole lot easier for taking on and off one less bloody bolt you've got to do. The other consideration will be underneath here, I'm going to line that, there will be a piece, what do you call it, tin, that will run along here to hide all that stuff. I know a lot of people just get, like, I think it was I Ride Taz did, and he used a, what do you call it, I think a car tube, and he just cut it to size and covered it, and it works, it does the bloody trick. But I'd like to have a go at doing a metal sheet that would run through there. I'd obviously have to, under it will be rubber lined, obviously, because we've got terminals and bloody wires and bits and pieces, and then it'll be just painted on the top, so it'll just hide all that and give that a real smooth look. Now, looking at it, I may probably be going too far here, guys, but I think you guys deserve, since I've been stuff-arsing around of late. I'm not too sure whether I'm going to be happy with those, because I think the wires are going to be coming through there, so I might have to look at doing something where the tin flares up here, do something nice, I don't know. All that stuff I've got to work out. Now, I'm not giving you a full shot all around the bloody bike, because that's for later on. You've had a sneak peek, and that's all you're bloody well getting. So now, because what is it? This is Wednesday night. So this, Wednesday night? It's Wednesday bloody night. So I've got to get this footage up ready for tomorrow night for you guys to watch it as you're watching it right now. Then I've got that ride, the 3 Desert ride. So, and I've got, you can see down there, I've got brand new Dunlop 606s for Max to be put on. So I've got to get that done before the weekend. Then give Max a run over of his stuff. I know I'm not, this is a Virago, but anyway, most of you guys follow all the other shit anyway.
and I'll get everything packed. I'm mostly bloody organised anyway, but I said for Man Cave Tuesday, because this is the problem, trying to get all these videos, and you know, Nayfall's bloody crook, and then I'm bloody doing a bloody 3-day trip. It just eats into my time. So anyway, there you go. All right, so I will come back to you. Alrighty guys, so I'm back. I bloody forgot about the mirrors. So the mirrors from China turned up. So they're not exactly what I expected. So they're not as crazy as what the other ones are. Now my idea was that I would spray these black, spray that black. But there's a problem with these mirrors. They work really well because they're movable. Oh, if I could bloody, they're movable there and they're movable here. They've got really good. So I had them on the bike. They worked really, really well. I really liked them. But the problem that I had is, if I arrange this the way that it'll be on the bike. So this is the way it'll be on the bike. Can you see what's wrong? What they've done is they've sent me 2 right-hand or 2 left-hand ones. So you can see how this one points up and this one points down. Bloody idiots! So I've contacted them and they've gone, oh, we see that you've got a pair, because I showed them a picture on the bike, and they've just looked at that. I don't know whether they realise. So I don't know what's going to happen. They're $11, so I'm not. That will get me a roadworthy for the start if that's what happens. But I think I'm just going to have to show a little bit more dollars. This is the joy of, you know, buying cheap stuff. Sometimes it works out brilliant. It's no different or whatever from the more expensive stuff. But sometimes you kind of get burnt on the product, or you have troubles with bloody receiving shit like that. You know, same as what happened with the shocks. The shocks worked out fine in the end. You know, maybe that might, I don't know. There you go. All right, guys, I'm gonna finish this. I was gonna hopefully start to show you some of the tonight. I'm gonna get onto that tank, rubbing it all down and getting all that. But I'm gonna finish it now. All right, I'm shutting up, guys. Keep on riding, and if you ain't riding, just keep on keeping on.